Hey everybody, it's James here with the Sawyer Family Reviews channel. Today is Wednesday, May 29th, 2019. This is your weekly comic book pickups video. Every week, I pick up my boys at least one comic each. Oftentimes it's more than one. I pick up Gracie one as well, even though she can't read yet. And I pick up all my comics at Queen City Comics in Fairfield, Ohio, zip code 45014, near the toy department. If you're in the area and into comics, check out the shop. Let's jump right in. All right, first of all is this Marvel Facsimile Edition Hulk 181. This actually came out a few weeks back, and I kind of was upset with myself for not buying it because it was gone afterwards. This is basically just a straight-up reprint of Hulk 181, the first appearance of Wolverine. I mean, it reprints the ads, it reprints the book exactly how it was back then, and it's $3.99. Obviously, this is the first appearance of Wolverine versus Hulk with Wendigo. Yeah, but this came back in this week. This and the Amazing Spider-Man 229, maybe? Both of those facsimile editions came back in this week. So I corrected my mistake and picked it up. That's not like these True Believers. That thing's $3.99, and it's exact redo with vintage ads and everything. The True Believers are still being called Marvel's Greatest Creators. There are two this week. First up is Web of Spider-Man, Kraven's Last Hunt, Marvel's Greatest Creators #1 by J.M. DeMatte, I think is how you say his name, and Mike Zeck. This is from the Kraven's Last Hunt storyline, obviously, and it reprints Web of Spider-Man #31, and it's $1. I love Mike Zeck art. I love Kraven's Last Hunt, so this one's going to be a fun one for the boys to check out, especially for Keaton, because he's a big Spidey fan. They just released that Marvel Legends 2-pack of Kraven and a black costume Spider-Man, so it's kind of cool that this issue's coming out right around then, because if you bought the pack and you came into a comic shop, you might find this sitting on a shelf for only $1. Next up, if I can keep these comic books over here from sliding around like crazy, is Marvel's Greatest Creators #1, Ron Mars and Ron Lim, the two Rons, Silver Surfer, Rude Awakening. It's only $1. You might as well get it. I really like Ron Lim art. Ron Mars, I think he does an okay Silver Surfer. I'm not a big fan of Ron Mars because of the whole Green Lantern thing. Look it up if you want. Here's Galactus with his helmet off. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Ron Lim's Silver Surfer is one of my favorite interpretations of Silver Surfer. Looks like Nova's chilling out in this one. This is a reprint of Silver Surfer #51. Yeah, it's $1. Come on. Next up is a book for Gracie. There was a new Duck book today. I think it was Uncle Scrooge. But instead of that, I went back and got this Disney Afternoon #2 and the back issue boxes from Marvel Comics. It was originally $1.50, and I think it was $1.60 when I bought it, because it's got Darkwing Duck. And we've been listening to the Disney Afternoon type songs on the radio, and she really likes the Darkwing Duck songs. She's watched some of the cartoons. So I thought it'd be fun to go back and grab this old Darkwing Duck book. There's been some talks about Darkwing Duck coming back in animation, I think maybe on the DuckTales show. I don't know. Next up is X-Men Grand Design by Ed Piskor. X-Men Grand Design Extinction #1. My buddy Nick came to me and said, hey, I hear this guy, Ed Piskor, that I really like, that does some like underground comics, indie comics, whatever, is doing an X-Men book. I'm like, hey dude, he's done like 2 X books already of Grand Design. There's been X-Men Grand Design, and there's been X-Men Grand Design Second Genesis. The one you're talking about is X-Men Grand Design Extinction that's coming out. And he's like, oh man, I really want to check that out. So I grabbed the first one so he can kind of flip through it if he wants. But then as I flipped through it, I was like, man, this is kind of cool. There's a lot loaded in this book. So I went to the back issue of the shelf, and I got X-Men Grand Design Second Genesis 1 and 2, because those were still there. And then I went on eBay and I bought X-Men Grand Design 1 and 2 for like $15. So I'm going to check this all out. Apparently it's like he retells the entire origin of the X-Men as if all these stories were all planned out together, like it was a grand design, like it was all planned. And there's this whole reference thing in the back. Like you can see how loaded this art is. There's a lot going on. It's pretty cool art too. There's all these things where it tells you pages to go back and look in the issue of X-Men where this thing occurred that he's put together inside this book. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm kind of interested to check these out. Obviously, I've bought them all now, so hopefully it was good. Let's put those over there. This is my book for my dad, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Oh, the X-Men Grand Design was $5.99. That's a big honking book. I also really like the paper quality on it. It's like that. It looks like it's old paper. It kind of has more of a texturing to it than those glossy pages. So I like that. MST3K. I keep going back to this, but it reminds me of that GoBots thing. The GoBots book I was picking up for Matt, and I like that. Okay. I promise not to go back again. MST3K, issue 6, $3.99 from Dark Horse Comics. I've given my dad all these. I have no idea if he's enjoying it or not. It's created for comics by Joel Hodgson, developed for comics by Joel Hodgson, written by a bunch of people. Todd Knock does the host segment art, and then the in-comics art's handled by other people. So it's like they're jumping around to different comic genres, just like they watch different types of films. I don't have any idea if this is good or not. He hasn't told me. So I'm just going to keep buying it. That's what I do. Dick Tracy Forever. This is a book for Blaze. Blaze had a lot of choices, so I had to text him today and say, hey, which ones do you want? I'm going to get you 2. You let me know which ones you want. He chose Dick Tracy Forever for one of them, by Michael Avon Oeming and Taki Soma doing the inks. Yeah. This is more in line with classic Dick Tracy than the previous IDW Dick Tracy series, which tried to kind of bridge all times together into one story. Here's some Shaggy stuff. And Michael Avon Oeming is good. So he had all these choices today, and he picked this. So that must tell you it's pretty good. There was also Daredevil. He didn't want that. There was also the new Stranger Things, and he didn't want that. And I think there was maybe one other book he also gets, Thanos, and he didn't want that. He chose Dick Tracy Forever, and we'll get the other one in a minute here. So put that over there. This book is for Keaton, Spiderman City at War number 3. This is $3.99. And it's by Dennis Hopeless Hallam with artist Michelle Bandini. And this is the PS4 version of Spider-Man in comic book form. Keaton, I believe, has enjoyed the series. He didn't tell me to stop buying the series. So when it came in today, I was like, I'm going to get that series. I will say that the amount of numbers, the numbers of books that are being ordered on this seem like they're going down at the shop. I think we only got like 5 of this book in. So maybe other people aren't enjoying it. I don't know. If you're reading it, leave a comment down below and tell me if it's any good. This book is also for Keaton, and this one I actually flip through usually before I give it to him, and that's Transformers Ongoing from IDW, issue 6, which is $3.99 by Brian Ruckley. Well, art just went one person this time, Beth McGuire-Smith. So, this is kind of a jumping on point series for people that don't want to read all the previous IDW Transformers series. And it looks like now they're kind of all, the storylines are kind of coming together maybe. And that's why there's just one artist, because for a while there were 2 stories going on and there were 2 different artists reading it. For me, it was easy to jump into. It's been easy for Keaton to jump into, so they've done a good job of kind of clearing things up. This is a book all 3 of us are looking forward to. Transformers Ghostbusters is advertised in here. I'm going to have to get 3 copies of that, because Blaze and Keaton both want it, and I want it. This is the other book that Blaze picked. Hellboy versus Lobster Johnson from Dark Horse Comics, $3.99. Page here. Art by Mike Norton, colors by Dave Stewart, written by Mike Mignola and Chris Robertson. And it looks like it's like a luchador version of Lobster Johnson and a luchador version of Hellboy. All right. Okay, that seems pretty cool. I think this is a one-shot. What is this? Oh, they're doing a Hellboy Art of the Motion Picture book. Yeah, that movie didn't do very well. So I'm going to guess this is going to be a book that'll be pretty cheap pretty soon. I didn't see it, so I can't comment if it's good or not. Lastly is a book for me, Major X, number 4, my guilty pleasure book. I am going to go on record and say I really enjoy Major X. With the first issue, I bought it on a lark as kind of a train wreck situation, see how bad it could be. It was Liefeld art, Liefeld writing, and it was just what I thought it would be. It was Liefeld. But then the second issue wasn't Liefeld art, it was just Liefeld writing, and I was like, okay, this is kind of a fun 90s book. And the third issue was even more fun. It's this character, which is, I'm going to spoil this for you, he's related to another character. He goes back in time to get to fix his existence where he lives in the future, to kind of fix the future. And he goes back and teams up with Cable and Wolverine from the 90s. And this book reads like a 90s comic. I will say something for Rob Liefeld. He seems like he's a better writer than he is an artist. He writes what he knows, and that's 90s comics. So this is written like a 90s comic, and I'm enjoying it. I gotta be honest. I'm a major X fan, I think. This one looks like it's maybe the guy that did the art in the second issue. Let me go back and look and see who the name is. Come on, don't be mean. Brent Peoples. I think he did the second issue. I can't remember. I know Will Scartaccio did one of the issues, like the third issue, I think. I think maybe Peoples did the second. This guy's kind of doing Rob's style, but maybe better than Rob. Well, what am I saying? Maybe better than Rob. This is definitely better than Rob. All right, Sentinels are in it. That's on the front cover. This girl's going to be in there in 2 weeks. 2 weeks? 2 weeks? 2 weeks. Total Recall. Yeah, I'm down for this book. And when I saw it was on the list this week, I actually got kind of excited. So, all right, fine. I like Major X. Sorry. And lastly is this big honking giant book that Blaze wanted. The Goon, bunch of old crap at Omnibus Volume 1. Yeah, this thing's huge. Contains the collected volumes of Rough Stuff, Nothing But Misery, My Murderous Childhood, and Heaps of Ruination. I think Blaze might have the first 2 of those, maybe the first 3. But when I told him this was in, he was like, "Yeah, go ahead and get me that. I'm gonna get it in omnibus form." He really likes the Goon. He's paying for this, not me. This is coming out of his pocket. He makes money. He's got a job. Yeah, look at all this. So this is 4 volumes collected. I don't know how many issues. Does it say? It doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say. This book's zoom the rough stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. Those trades are probably 5 issues each, maybe. So this is probably like 20, 25 issues of comics, and it's $30. That's pretty good. Pretty good for Goon. All right, that's everything. Man, heavy day. Look at all these books. As always, if you enjoy the videos, click like, click subscribe, click notify. I believe we are going to do a live stream Sunday night. I will post in the community page over at my Sawyer Fame Reviews channel if we are for sure. I'll probably do it at actionfeatures.net or Action Features Facebook as well. But I think we're going to do a Sunday night 8 o'clock live stream, and hopefully maybe do it every week. As always, if you have a comment about the books we're reading, if you have books you want us to check out, leave it a comment in the section below. I jumbled up all those words. I said comment way too many times. Yeah. All right. See you guys next Wednesday.